Let me know.
Yo.
Y'all ready?
Yo, we ready.
Y'all ready?
We ready.
What up? You hear that theme music, you see these beautiful faces. We are the Let's Get Canceled podcast. I'm your boy Tommy with an H. I'm the voice of the people. I speak for y'all.
And I'm your boy, Big Tech Dog, your favorite friendly, lovable loudmouth. We in the building,
We in the building,
We in the building.
And we got some guests in this
We got guests in this bitch?
We got some guests in here with us too. But cousin.
Hey, yeah, man.
You
What
ready?
Up, man? I'm ready. Let's get canceled.
On tonight's episode, we are going to follow back to what we were discussing on this past Wednesday. As I told you guys, we will have some folks in here to discuss the questions that you guys have asked us that you want to know before you get married. What should the single guys know? And we got a couple single guys in here also.
Oh.
And the single guys, we're going to ask them what it's like outside right about now.
Because we don't know.
Because we don't know, and we need to keep y'all married niggas, we need to keep y'all on the porch. So these young niggas gonna scare you to death. This is an episode of Scared Straight. But we got some of the homies in the building.
Yo,
man.
let's show them homies in the building.
We gonna put the homies on. Y'all say
what up, fellas? Say what up. What up to the phone? What up?
All right, turn your microphones on. Introduce yourselves. We're gonna start over here with DJ. Start with DJ, and we're gonna let y'all introduce yourselves.
My name Denzel, the young loudmouth. Best way I can explain it. No filter.
Okay.
Joe Kells in the building. Be prepared. Y'all about to win this history.
Wait. We know who this nigga is.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Talk to him.
Man, you guys brought me out of retirement, but this is your boy, Leo, a.k.a. What the Foolishness. You know it's about to go down.
Yes,
when keeping it real goes wrong. Let's get it.
Let it go right tonight, Leo. Let it go right.
What's happening, y'all? This LA, man. I'm back again. Appreciate y'all having me on Let's Get Canceled. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So, because
Yeah, man.
we've had some folks send us some questions.
We did.
I had some questions myself. We're going to allow these people on the panel to actually get
And I'm going to have some questions by the time I get to this flash.
Oh, buddy.
Now, your questions are probably going to be different than mine.
My questions are going to be tame because I am that guy. I try to bring professionalism to this.
Okay.
And you.
I do not.
Exactly. So
I wanted to be professional. It just, you know.
It's gonna be
You know.
it's gonna be some foolishness. So you guys will not see us.
Not much.
You won't see us much tonight. We're gonna focus this on our crew of guys up here. We got a couple more that may be stopping through.
Yes, sir.
So just be prepared for that.
back tonight.
But okay, DJ, you're a single guy. Joe Kells, you're a married guy. Leo, you're a single guy.
You already know.
So you're a married guy.
That's right.
Oh, that's good.
No,
That's
we
good.
got a good balance.
That's
We
good.
got a good balance. So who do we start with? This episode.
First of all, it's married niggas over single niggas. First of all.
Wait.
Married life over everything.
Hey, I want to remind y'all. We can't hear you if the microphone ain't in your face.
Pick the
So
microphones
make sure
up.
you
Turn your microphones up.
Hold the mic.
Keep your microphone in.
Let me repeat that. It's married life over single life, and that's coming from 20 plus years experience. So all you single niggas, shut up.
Oh.
No.
wow.
Shut the fuck up.
Right there. It is right there. So who do we start with tonight?
I want to listen.
The
I want to
episode is to help.
say D for last. Like I want to get to him last.
Okay, so
Right.
so this is going to be a helper for you single niggas first.
Right.
So we're going to start with the married guys, and I've got an easy question, just an easy little layup for the married guys. What is the one thing you wish you knew before getting married? I'm gonna start this one off. So you got your mic in your hand, so I'm gonna start off with you. What's the one thing that you wish you knew before you got married? Because this was a question that I was asked the most in the chats. So I'm gonna start with that one. What's the one thing you wish you knew about marriage before you got married?
Oh, man. Probably, you ain't fucking every night.
You ain't. Oh, Jesus.
They can tell you that part.
They can hear that
Yeah, they can bang. They can hear the bang.
They heard
on that microphone. Yeah.
Okay. No, but okay. So that's the one thing you wish you knew before you got married is that you weren't gonna get none every night.
You really thought that was gonna happen?
Nah, it's just you think, you just think when you're not and you're doing it a lot, a lot. And then
Before you get married,
you're doing it a lot, and then all of a sudden, you get into you know, the world, you have children, and then, you know, things start to slow down. But I mean, it's always available. It ain't no shot to nobody.
Okay,
you know?
so she ain't gonna tell you, but she ain't gonna.
It's just when you dealing with life, it's too busy. You know, sometimes you be like, okay, it is what it is, and are we doing this or not? Good night.
And a lot of times it's not.
Huh?
A lot of nights it's not. We ain't doing.
Oh no. Oh no. No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but it's just,
I'm just saying, like, before you have children, you just got that energy because you ain't using your energy in other places.
Right.
And it's like a everyday, few times a day thing, and then all of a sudden, children come into play, and it's like every other night. You know, it's like because it's there every night, but you know, it's like. After the kids and everything, you know, it slows down.
Did you catch what he just said?
He said every other night.
He ain't lying though. He ain't lying.
At first, before kids and stuff, it was every night, multiple times a night.
He said multiple
And then he said it slows down to every other night. I got a question for you.
Nope.
You get some every other night?
That's my answer. Nope.
All right, we go back over there. Wait, quick question. How long have you been married?
I'm going on 12.
12 years.
Yeah.
Okay, how many kids you got?
I got 4.
4. Okay. Salute, brother. Okay. Okay. We got another married man up here.
Man, Joe.
Joe.
All right, before we go to your answer to that particular question, did you experience that same thing when you got married? That you're not doing it as often as you were before?
I think every man, regardless if you married or not, is going to go through that because it doesn't matter. Marriage is a piece of paper that says, okay, I got you now. We in a contract, right? So it doesn't matter if you're married or if you're single. The sex life might change once you, once you stop realizing that I don't have to impress this motherfucker no more. That's going to change, regardless if you're married or not. But let's get back to the, what was the question again? Because I want to make sure I answer it properly.
What is the one thing that you wish you knew before getting married?
Before I got married. All right, so... we got old soul over here, right? So I'm gonna use some of my old soul mentality to answer this question because I'm an old soul too. Since he say old soul, and we got 15 years difference. So my old soul it might be a little different from your old soul. So let's talk about our grandparents. My grandparents had 15 children. So I only knew my grandfather and my grandmother as they were together all this time with all these kids with all this drama. So the one thing I wish I knew before I got married was how much drama that was going to come with the marriage, with family and friends. If I knew that, then I would be like better prepared to either, and I told you this earlier, I'm shielding myself. I'm purposely selecting who I encounter in 2025. Like who around me from here on out feel privileged because I've been around whoever and I've learned that certain people provide value to your life and certain people don't. Right. So I wish I knew the people who provide positive value in your life before I got married and keep them in your life. And everybody else, y'all just old souls with no soul.
So the drama within the family structure, or
it all comes. It's a package. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna be married to me, you're gonna have to deal with my sisters, my brother, my mama, and if you can't deal with them, then that's probably gonna affect us. So that right there, right. Other than everything else you control, like how I want to treat my kids and all that kind of stuff and how many times we have sex, that's private. Right, but you still got to deal with her sister.
Right.
And my sister. Right. And my brother and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So that part really has an impact that nobody really accounts for. You know what I'm saying? So that's
going to lead me to a follow-up question again to our...
But I don't want you to go past that yet because I want an explanation as far as when you say drama, you mean between you and your in-laws, or are you talking about
both?
So
both. It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
Okay. And that's going to be...
And we sugarcoat it sometimes, but it goes both ways.
And that's the thing I'm going to follow... What my follow-up question is going to be. The relationship you have with your family and your spouse has with their family. Do you think it's best that you blend those worlds before the marriage happens? Or is it something that it doesn't matter if they get along or not, as long as you and your spouse are good, they don't have to deal with your family, so it's okay? Or do they have to deal with your family?
I'm gonna jump on that. I think there's a time where you have to actually, you're gonna have to figure it out, because there's going to be information from both sides that are going to contribute into your home, whether you like it or not. If you can't get along with your in-laws and you have that kind of a problem, that kind of atmosphere, there's always going to be that in the air drop that is going to actually make your mate uneasy about that situation, because that's mom, that's dad. You know, so at the end of the day, it's not that you gotta impress mom and dad, but of course, from an elder standpoint, you gotta respect the family. And at the end of the day, if there's not a lot of respect going on, it's gonna be a tough marriage, because of the fact you want to be co-signed. I don't care who you are. If you're not co-signed, at the end of the day, that is always gonna be mom and dad. People get divorced and married every day.
Right.
But you always are going to have mom and dad in your back corner. Fortunately, I don't have my mom and dad anymore, but I understand the deal of having mom and dad in your corner if something was to happen. So I think it's important that in-law space, you have to treat it with grace.
And that should happen before, even before the marriage happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You want to buy it.
Those moments matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't think about it much, but as you get older, right? As you get more old seasoned, you start to realize that the Mother's Day, the Father's Day, the birthdays, the grandmothers, the Christmases, the Thanksgivings.
Right.
You have to start selecting now, especially when you start branching out. Like, the world got bigger as we got social media and all that kind of stuff. We all grew up and we used to be able to walk to the house for, in 5 minutes and see the majority of our family within a 10-minute range. But as we got older, it was like, oh, there's a lot of interstates and highways and different states out here, so we started branching out. Like, now I got to travel 12 hours to go see my family, or 18 hours, you know what I'm saying? So it's not the same. So now when we got to select Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's either mine or yours. But if I'm beefing with your mom or your daddy,
I'm always going to mama.
Like you got to realize that once you stop being young and you ain't the hammer no more, you know what I'm saying? And you just I ain't throwing subliminal shots at him, but I'm just saying, dog, you got to realize, we talked about this. You could be an old soul with no experience. I was like, you can't live off my experience. We all watch MJ play, but ain't none of us MJ. So stop bragging about what another nigga did. And we just talked about my past weekend.
All right, single guys. I got a question for you all based on what they just said. How do you all navigate your relationship with your girlfriends, because y'all have a while, so girlfriends, in regards to your families? Do they get to meet your families? Or what point do they get to be around family? How serious do they have to be before they get to meet the family? Microphone's up. You gotta have your microphone in hand. Whichever one of y'all want to go first. And I'm not even talking about your. I came here specifically for you. And I'm not talking about it doesn't have to be moms, grandmas, pops, and other, but like your family, cousins, brothers, sisters. Like, at what point do they need to be accepted by them?
I'll say personally for myself on how I move, I'll say immediately. Because at the end of the day, if me and the female fall out, my family's still going to be there. And if I want to introduce them to my family, we can't be out here beefing. Like, we got to keep it cordial. I've done relationships where my big sister don't like a female, and that brings tension. I've been in the situation where they got along and the relationship was great, but her mama, don't like me. So that brings out tension. And especially when the fellas was in here talking about, holidays and, goes to whose house and all that. I'm not going to your daddy's house if your daddy, every time you talk to me, he want to talk about gunplay. I'm just not doing that.
What has been going on in your relationship?
I'm just being real. Like, at the end of the day, if me and your family has tension, we are not going to jail together. Because if you got common sense,
go to jail together. That's what
if we have common sense, if we got common sense, you're going to lean towards your family. Because at the end of the day, my family is literally all I have. Whether it's siblings, because just like LA said, my parents gone too, and I'm probably the youngest one out here. So my sisters, my aunts, and my uncles, that's all I have. So if me and the female fall out, I can't fall out with my family in the process of trying to keep her. She may not be the one, and I might be the sign. Or if I can't get along with your parents, hey, you gonna try to ride with your parents as long as you got. Especially if you've been in the age where if you've watched friends lose relatives and parents and all that stuff. So you might get a little more attached than others.
Okay. All right. So
What say you, Leo?
Leo?
What say you, Leo? Just speak the truth.
Man, this is one of those questions when keeping it real goes wrong.
Don't let it go wrong.
It's gonna go wrong.
First question.
I know. That's the bad
It's
part.
the easy one.
So
It's the layup.
I know. So for me, let me answer that question. Okay. So just want to make sure I'm understanding. You stated that when do a female that I'm talking to
Yeah.
meets the family?
Yeah.
So for me, my females don't meet the family.
Females.
Yeah.
Ever?
I said females.
Yeah, you did. I know. You
I know,
said-
that's what I just
they,
put that
They
up.
don't ever meet the family.
They don't meet the family at all because
Never.
one, never. Not because the reason why they don't meet the family because I'm not ready. So if I know I'm still out there and I know if I'm not ready to settle down, why in the world would I be wasting my family time and meeting a temporary?
Hold on. Leo, are you not dating to find your mate, or are you just dating just?
What you just said?
Are
Mate?
you not dating to find your life partner, your mates? Yeah, like
Are you talking about now or back then?
ever.
Okay, so let me.
Leo, you're no longer 25. You're no longer 35.
And I understand
I'm
that.
not gonna tell them how old you really are, but Leo, are you not trying to? You don't do. Oh, okay, scratch all that. Do you want to be married, Leo? Ever?
Hold on, man. You asked me 3 questions.
I did, and that's how I said scratch all the other ones.
Hold on, you asked me 3 questions. I'm
Last
going
question.
to answer.
Don't answer all 3 of them. Answer this last one. Leo, do you want to be married?
Okay, so let me answer that question.
This nigga a politician.
So let me answer that question.
Y'all remember pimps don't pay taxes.
We talking about Texas?
All right, Leo.
So-
Go ahead. My bad.
As of right now, do I want to be married? The question, no, I do not.
Okay.
Ooh.
I do not want to be married right now.
Right.
Now, could that change? Yes.
So
But
my question is: are you opposed to the idea? You're not opposed
No,
to the idea.
I'm
of
not
marriage. You're just not.
I'm not
you're ready.
opposed to it, but
You're not looking for it right now.
I'm not looking for it
And-
right now.
and it's not in the cards right this second.
it's
Got it.
not
All
even
right.
in. It's at the back of the deck
Okay, got it.
of the
Got
cards.
it.
So
Got it. Back
I'm not
with
looking
the,
for
with the instructions. And
Yeah. So I'm not looking for get married right
Gotcha.
now because right now it's like in this 2025, honestly, it's hard to stay married in 2025.
Okay.
It's really hard, and I know it's hard to stay married because I have married friends. You know, my
All right,
friends
so real
that
quick, I want to ask. I asked you how long you have been married, right? How long have you been married,
Jokel.
Joe? How long?
I've been married 20 plus years. I got married in 2004. August 2004.
Okay. So you're 12 years and you're 21,
Right.
almost 22.
this year be 21.
This year will be 21. Congratulations, both of you gentlemen. So you're stating that it's hard to stay married, and you're in between 12 and 21.
that is correct. And I know
Hey.
been married.
Leo,
Yes.
prove to the married man that it's hard. Start with the 12 first.
Pause, nigga.
Like, prove to him that it was hard for him to make it 12 years. And if you can't prove to him, then you're definitely not going to be able to prove to me that it was hard to make it 20 years. So prove to him first, because you giving some advice to some married men that it's hard to stay married when you're not married. So please prove to him first before you try to prove to me.
So
Leo,
let me say this.
look at me while you're talking to me. Grown ass man over here.
Let me say this. So proven. So I can't prove on paper.
Don't say you can prove then.
No.
Let's
I,
talk facts.
and I am.
Don't
talking
get canceled up in here. We're talking about
I'm not
marriage.
get canceled. But to see,
Because I done been single and married, so I can talk both. You can't.
you're right. I can't.
Experience is right here in front of you.
You're right. But when I
Let's go.
know, when I know people in my life that's married and that is, doing extra things, and hear it from married people. So I'm hearing it from,
You hear from
married people.
men right now.
No, I'm hearing it from married people right now that people say, "Hey, I'm married. Don't get married. I'm married." Or I'm hearing from married men and women like, "Hey, they still married, but they still living double lives." So for me, why would I want to get married when I know when I get married, I'm still going to be living a double life? I don't want to live a double life. So that's why I don't want to get married. And that's why I know from married men that they still living that double life.
And that part I can understand. Because the numbers bear out 50% of marriages don't last. Right. And that number is rising by the day. So
it is.
So that part I can get, Leo. And here's what I'm going to pivot to now.
Well, he said Joe said it was proved that it's hard to stay married.
And the numbers bear out.
And it does.
If half the marriages don't last, it's hard to stay married.
Well, here's the thing.
Now,
as opposed to hard to stay married, are you saying that as opposed to it? So you're saying it is easy to remain married? Is that your stance?
I'm saying that based off who you surround yourself with, it's either gonna be hard or easy to do what you want to do. If you want to be a gigolo, running on the streets, because I've been there.
Right.
All right, but I got it out the way early. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did that, I done that.
Right.
Like, I get what he's saying. I'm not disagreeing with him, but I'm saying is that you either want to be single or you want to be married. So it's not hard. It's the decision that you made, but you using this as an excuse. Like, it's not hard to be single. If I wanted to be single and stay single,
at a certain age,
I would have stayed single.
But Joe, at a certain age, when you're at a certain age, let's say in your 20s, and if you're married in your 20s, you don't know if you want to be married for real no more. You still don't know if you want to be that gigolo. You don't know about being a gigolo. You don't know if that is like you chose to make this decision, but then you get out there and you see something or you start to experience things.
But what decision made you get married, and what decision made you want to stay single?
You know how hard it is to go through that hard time when you and the wife going through that difficult.
You go through it as a single man as well. All right?
You do. But the thing about, as a single man, I can walk away. As a married man, I can't walk away. So should I walk?
So here's a topic, or here's a question that you probably should have added. What made you as a single man that was living the great life that got him so afraid, got these guys so afraid?
So you jumping questions on me. You jumping.
Yeah, we going there.
Joe, I told you I had a list.
All right. I'm gonna bag off then. So, all right, I'm gonna bag off.
Go ahead, Zoe, like you got something to say too.
I was gonna say it just depends on the will of two people, because there ain't nothing perfect out here. Whether you was married or not, I think the thing about it is marriage is on paper, and there's a lot of people that have that time with their mate, and they've been with them for a long time, and there's a lot of sacrifice on both sides. So at the end of the day, it's like you really married, but you're not married. That's why they have common law. Right. The thing is, in a way, you could say common law may be like built for dummies, because at the end of the day, if you leave, okay, there is no attachment, but at the end of the day, when you're in a marriage, you worth something, and then there's no financial loss at all, but you worth something. On paper, it's worth something. Right. So if my wife told me right now, she said, "Hey, I'm done. I don't want this anymore." Okay, I gotta respect the decision, but I'm not leaving empty-handed. Matter of fact, I'm in. I'm actually, matter of fact, at the end of the day, you have to respect the decisions. But as a man, just like a female, they go into everything on a business situation. Men should look at it as a business situation too. It takes two people to love each other, but when the love is lost, it becomes pure business.
Now, DJ did mention that on the Battle of the Sexes, and those ladies were not having that. So it's that decision.
I want to ask a question, and I'm hearing what y'all are saying, and keep in mind, we both of us are married. We are both married. Happily married. Hey baby.
Long time.
Hey baby.
Long time.
Hey, for a long time. How long have you been married?
forever.
My apologies. I've been.
No, I'm looking at 15 going on 16.
You looking at 15 going on 16. I just passed 20.
Right.
So we both been married for a while. Here's the thing. If you ask me, is marriage difficult? Unequivocally, I'm going to say yes.
Every day.
And that to me, that doesn't diminish.
But is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
That's the question. It's hard. It's hard. But
So if I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, and that's the same thing. I hear what both sides are saying. Leo, I hear what you're saying when you're like, oh, well, dudes is doing this and they playing both sides of the fence. And I hear you. We all know niggas like that. And I hear what you're saying. It's based on what you desire, what you want to, because you'll make something work if you want to do it.
The work you're willing to put into it.
Right. And the work that your significant other is willing to put into it.
Right.
If both of y'all are willing to put all into it, then I think it can work out. I think that's what's scaring the single men too, though. Because because that takes some dependency. That means that I gotta open myself all the way up in hopes that she's opening all the way up too, and we want the same thing. You remember that show? What was the name of the damn show? It was.
I don't know what show you're talking about.
It was a show about.
About nothing.
It was the leave of state. You remember because the game was on it. And it was like they went out on a date with other people and they had to hold up a sign whether they wanted to stay together or split up. Y'all remember that show?
Yeah.
Stay or leave.
Yeah.
All right, that's marriage in a nutshell because you think you know and she thinks she knows. Mm-hmm. And then when it gets down to it, you can open all the way up and be like, baby, we gonna make this work. And she go, you know what?
Nah.
I checked out already. I'm done.
Yeah.
And like you said, then I'm leaving with something.
That's right. And another thing though to say, just to top that off, because I've actually been in where I done went through counseling before, and when you have marriage counseling, it's a whole completely different thing here because you start to learn things that you probably weren't even aware of about yourself
and
the way you treat your significant other, because sometimes they may tell somebody else, being a counselor, that you may not even be aware of that this was what was going on.
Right.
So there's a lot of shock value, I think, when you go into counseling and then you find out, and then it's a learning thing. It's always learning. It's a process. And the good thing about it is if you take that process and you learn, you get better with it, or you're going to be single again.
But single niggas. I got a question for single homies. For the single homies, what is it like out there right now? Like, what is it like out there in the streets right now for you single guys? And I actually have a form question here that I'm going to ask you guys. What's the hardest part about dating right now?
So you asked two questions. So
What is it like?
what's the hardest part about dating?
What's the hardest part right now?
And what it's like in these streets?
Yeah, tell me what it's like in the streets first, and then tell me what's hard about it.
So let me tell you what it's like in these streets. It's easy.
It's easy work.
Easy. It's like riding a bike. Really easy in these streets. Because the reason why I say for me it's easy, because see, depending on what generation you're coming in. See, for me, growing up with, being born and raised in like my parents are baby boomers. And then Generation X. So when you keep in mind, baby boomers, they didn't have, like, my uncles didn't have social media. So they taught me the game of, like, hey, here's the game without social media.
Right.
So now I got the game without social media. I got the church game. I got all of it. So I got the PlayStation, Nintendo, all of it. All in my system. But now, Generation X, keep in mind, I'm in that Generation X borderline.
Right.
So keep in mind, the reason why I say easy, because it depends on when you was born. So because I'm in the age of, hey, social media wasn't there, but then social media started.
So social media made it easier?
Social media made it really easy. Because it's like, hey, I think social media made it easier. Because now, guess what? I could talk to ladies all over the world.
Ladies.
I could talk to ladies. No, real talk. You could talk to ladies. Back in the day, you had pen and paper. You had to go up, meet them. Hey, I got to put in some work. Like, anybody got a pen? Anybody got a pen? But so now...
So is it easier now because you don't have to face rejection head on?
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
easier.
more willing to go out there and put yourself out there.
That was deep. Look
Based
at
on-
you, journalist.
No, but you say rejection. Well, of course, everybody gonna get rejected.
Right.
But
But
because
to make it easier, since you don't have to face the rejection face to face.
Well, that's a part of it.
If you shoot a DM out there and she says something crazy, it don't hurt you as much.
that's the piece of the pie.
Okay, gotcha.
But back in the day, when you had to go work for it,
Yeah.
you had to build up that mentality to go talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
To go talk to them back in the day, when you had to go walk up to them and say, "Hey, girl, hey, you caught my attention like Wi-Fi." So, sorry.
See, that nigga single that.
See, it's coming out of me. It's just natural. You know what I'm saying? We got that strong connection. You see what I'm saying? It just comes. But,
Oh shit.
but
Comcast said that Wi-Fi booming now.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, back in the day it was 2G. Now we up to 5G.
Get your game on.
I got it all. So that's why I say
Hey, I hope
it's
these
easy.
youngsters hey, y'all single fellas at the house, I hope y'all write this shit down.
Refill. Go get your
Go ahead, refill, man.
So it is easy. For me, it's easy because it's like, old school versus new school. It's like you get the best of both worlds.
Right.
That's why it's easy for me based on when I was born.
Right.
Now, if you was born like today, you don't know about.
Because you haven't had that hardcore rejection. So.
Yes, you haven't went to the history. That's the reason why this generation is soft.
Oh my God.
Oh, see, I'm just going to another subject. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Hey, you ain't saying
Y'all let
shit.
DJ answer. Yeah, y'all let DJ answer. So DJ, is it harder these days? Is it easier these days? And what's going on in the streets these days?
I would say like this: it's what you tolerate when it comes down to the situation. Now, for me personally, I feel like it's harder because you got more people out here that's living a fantasy than like realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go to a club and go see a female in there and go holler at her. You go buy you a couple rounds, but they look at you crazy because the party next door done bought a bottle.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like you trying to clown somebody for buying rounds and they ain't buy a bottle, but you done came here 12 deep in the Ford Focus.
It's more people now. Because it was 8 earlier, now it's 12.
But I understand where you come from.
But that's why I say like the realistic. Now me personally, going to the club and go chasing women ain't my style. I'd rather go hit a female in a real spot.
Right.
When you're in the grocery store, when you're in the mall or something like that. Like a real spot, not where you sat here and put on your best and I'm playing on your best. You done sat here and you only out here because it's your homegirl party. I've been playing on this for the last 6 months. Nah, I want to see you at your best. Can I wake up in the morning and roll over and look you in the eyes, or am I gonna throw up?
Good God Almighty.
I'm being real with you.
Because you might go home with a woman and wake up with a man.
It's not. I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't never had that problem. Hey, thank
The
God.
white boy said, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Thank God I ain't never had that problem. But realistically, it's more of a sense of, is this gonna be a situation where I could take you serious, or is it gonna be in a situation where you only dealing with me because you need me?
Nah.
You feel?
Got
All right, well, listen. I want to interject here real quick. Hey, Mr. with an H.
Yes, sir.
We got these fellas in here today, and they were so nice with their time.
Yes, they were.
I think more people need to hear what they have to say.
Yes.
And I just want to point out that we are everywhere.
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 And I'm
where
gonna
you
make
get
sure.
your
I'm gonna
audio
make sure
podcast.
this entire episode goes up tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get it up by tomorrow morning on all of the
Audio podcast
All the audio
platforms.
podcast platforms. You should be able to find this on your Spotify's, on your Google Plays, all that good stuff.
Right. So please, y'all, if y'all like what you're seeing, you like what you're hearing.
Share this with your guys.
Absolutely.
You can share the Facebook page, but I know everybody can't always go on YouTube to watch. So just make sure you go and find us wherever we are.
All podcast platforms.
We are everywhere. So definitely appreciate y'all. But we definitely want to get back to our panelists.
Yeah.
Because again, y'all did grant us some of your time, and you single niggas, man. I'm a little worried.
Hey, one of them disappeared.
He'll be back. He'll
be back. Okay,
He went to go make a taco.
All right. So you got. Can I get a question for the single guy?
You want single guy questions again?
I want to ask the single guy question.
Ask a single guy question.
Fellas, single guys.
And Leo will be back. He'll answer it when he
Well,
comes.
that means it falls on you now.
DJ, it's all you.
D. So listen, I got a question, man. what I'm going to assume that you've met females that you were seriously interested in. What stopped you from taking it that next step in of commitment? And I'm not saying that you have a problem with commitment. I don't know. Seems a little bit like it, but I don't know. What I will say is, what stopped you from taking it to that exclusivity and even beyond to putting it on paper, putting the ring on?
I would say my last time I was real like dead sent locked in with a female, it just wasn't the right time. Like,
Elaborate.
For you or for her?
Like I was in, but it wasn't the right time for her. In the sense of she was in college, I was just living, getting my life together, but moving. And I knew what I had to do to get me to where I wanted to get to at a certain age. But with her being in college, she still had them college dreams that was kind of childish that I knew that I was going to interfere with some life goals that I know I was trying to make at a certain age.
I'm confused. Wait, did I just hear you say that you was just living and she was in college and she had the childish dreams?
No, when I say living, I mean like I'm working.
Uh-huh.
I got a 9 to 5.
Yep.
I'm stacking my money.
Got it.
At this time, I'm chilling with. I'm not doing the clubs. I'm not out here shopping in the malls. I'm not buying a pair of shoes every weekend. I'm just slowly building my money up because at the age I was like, hey, when I hit 27, I'm trying to go buy this house. Like I got to get this done. So once I got that taken care of, hey, by all means. But when every night was, hey, this artist gonna be at this club, let's go get this section. Or, hey, these shoes going out, you don't wanna go and get these shoes? Hey, we need to go hit these outlets, go get these polo shirts. Like, hey, mama, that's not important right now. I got like some, like, hey, I'm 24, I got like 2 more years to really get my money up so I can go buy this house because all my brothers bought a house at 27.
So she was out living the college club life.
Yeah, like trying to live like
that. Sell
yeah. So it's
already.
like understanding that situation, like I had to go put that to the side. Like, hey, you gonna interfere with that?
But this has always been my thing. When I would always tell the single guys, don't fuck with her until like her last semester in college. Because by then, she's got all that shit out of her way. All she's trying to do is get to that finish line now.
No,
she has no interest in going to the club anymore. She has no interest in playing around. All she's trying to do is figure out, what am I going to do after graduation?
And me and her right now, we still keep it cordial. There was certain things.
Because you're a whore.
That was... There were certain things I was putting on, like real talk. There were things I was like putting on game. Because she was still at the age where she was like, oh, my mama got it. Hey, look, man, my mama been gone since I was 3.
Right.
Like, God forbid your mama die, you gotta really put yourself in line and get used to like really trying to do this on your own. Because if she gone, you're gonna be really out here looking crazy.
Right. What would happen?
Unfortunately, after she graduated, her mother did pass away.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
You feel me? So
But that took a turn.
Right.
I grew up fast, so I was always the person that was like, you know, growing up, you know, my mother died when I was young, so I was putting friends on game about that type of stuff before we grow up. Now we done hit our 20s and 30s. Dang, my mama died. Dang, they already told me about this. I got best friend from middle school hit me up to this day about that stuff. Because I was the one person in this corner that really understood that type of stuff. So it's knowing those type of situations and having to navigate the rest of your life on your own to really, you know, grow up quicker than other people.
Do you think that you might have a block mentally somewhere that is preventing you from taking that next step? Or do you think that you just got everything fit? Because listening to you, it sounded like you said you feel like you know all of the ins and outs of these different situations where she appeared not to. And I'm pretty sure the married guys would have something to say about that because we kind of go into that. So would you got something you wanna add to that or your take on what you just said?
Sure. I think you were spot on about everything you said about you. Marriage ain't about just you. So I want you to take everything you just said about you and say, okay, now I'm 10 years into a marriage and I'm going through the same thing. I'm maturing faster than my wife. Now what? Is it over? Lock in now then, man. Hey, you got a good woman that's in college about to get a degree, and you about to run away from her because she ain't ready. Either she gonna make you, or you gonna make her, or y'all gonna make each other. That's marriage. And if you ain't ready at 24, if you ain't ready at 28, if you ain't ready at 32, you definitely ain't gonna be ready at 40s. You gotta lock in at some point and say, one of us is moving a little bit faster and we need to get on sync. Me and my wife is trying to get on sync right now. That's why I'm talking about this. It ain't gonna never be perfect because somebody gonna have a disagreement with each other. If y'all are the same and y'all agree on everything, y'all might have problems. But if y'all have one disagreement where one person is moving a little bit faster than the other, your old school, I'm 32 and she ain't ready mentality is going to carry you to the point where you ain't going to have nobody. You got to realize that either you can lift up your woman or she going to lift up you. But it's got to be a balance. When I'm down, I want my woman to lift me up. So just remember that. Like, that's cool when y'all in y'all 20s and she in college and you in college and you moving. But at a certain point, you got to realize that it's always going to be like that, man. Like, you going to mature faster or she going to mature faster.
All right, that's a good point. That's a good point. So listen, I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm hearing from the married fellas, and I think that we're taking some time to kind of understand. Now, I don't want to beat up on the single guys. I don't want to beat them up too bad. They feel like they hurt. And look, and you got love by yourself.
Yeah, you got love.
Hold on.
I know how it is.
Leo ran off on you.
I would say this ain't no beat up. This is real life. This put people on game.
And Leo ran off.
So
There's a reason why he's on the phone right now,
right.
as we speak.
Somebody was watching the episode and called Leo Wins.
Yeah, hold up, nigga.
Leo has to go explain himself.
So you single tonight, nigga? You single tonight?
Then fuck this whole world up.
So we had to do what we needed to do.
But we got another guest that just popped in.
Exactly.
Go ahead and introduce our other guest.
No,
he's also a friend of the show.
He's a friend of the show.
He's
been here before. You've seen him before. So we're gonna bring him and let him introduce himself.
Hey everybody, this is Eon. Good to see everybody again.
Yeah, indeed. So
Eon, last time you was over there, it got a little crazy, man. And you tried to talk some sense into everybody. I remember.
You tried to be
you were the voice of reason on the men's side.
I'm glad that came across.
Yes, sir.
I try to keep him out of trouble.
And you are the single guy who is relationship based. So the questions that I'm gonna bring your way are gonna be based on taking it to that next step. And what is it now that you look for to take it to the next step of not just dating but moving forward into potential, that being your potential mate, being into a marriage? What is it going to take from your partner?
Well, I think it starts first with you have to have a real good sense of what you're looking for. And I'm not talking about superficial things, because the physical attributes can change really fast.
Yes, Lord.
Sometimes you got to ask yourself some hard questions.
Right.
Let's say life hit you real hard. I mean, do you see yourself going through those times, kind of challenging times with this particular person? Do you think they'll have your back if you fall flat on your face? Do you feel comfortable with them seeing you at your worst? Principle-wise, are you in the same place?
We'll come back there. Let me put a pin.
We ain't gonna never get past that one.
We come back now. Yes, sir. Continue. Trust me. Put that on my
This will be a real. And then if you really dig into your principles, right? I mean, the things that you hold dear to who you are, the essence of who you are as a person and as a man. How does this person fit into that picture? And because, we live in a world today where, unfortunately, you see a lot of superficial things in terms of what people expect in a relationship. And then when I talk to some of my buddies who are married, man, that's not the everyday life of a marriage, So it makes me wonder. I mean, where you getting your ideas as to what a real relationship and marriage is? But I just think that it starts with you individually. You have to first decide whether or not, first off, do you even want that for yourself? Right. Start there. And if you decide you want that for yourself, think about what you're willing to give to get that. Not what you're willing to get. What are you willing to give? Because a relationship is about sacrifice. And love is about what are you willing to give up, not what you're out to get. And that comes from both sides of the equation.
What? But and that is the truth. That's the realness of it all. And what most of us married folks find out in the long run, maybe not even in the long run, at some point we find out that it's not even about them for real. It's about us. Well, I'm going to say from the male point of view. Us men, we realize that we have to do what we have to do. And she's going to be her. And can I take that? Now, can she take who I am? We're going to change. We're not going to be that. We're not going to be that guy forever. We're going to change. But are we willing to allow her to express herself the way that she expresses herself and still be able to take it without blowing out herself?
Ooh, you said a mouthful there.
Can I talk about that for about 30 seconds?
Please do. Please.
But we don't have to go in depth.
Go ahead.
But I want y'all to know my position. When you talk about getting to know each other and learning and say, hey, can she accept me for who I am? Can I accept her for who I am? I'm retired Navy. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about the military, I've been in and out. Away from my home, away from my wife, away from my kids, to serve this country, to protect people that might look at me as a DI hire.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Some
Yes, sir.
nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I spent the majority of my life, since 18, away from my family. More away than I was present. So these years that I'm in now is kind of about like reestablishing myself with my family. So I understand, like, now my wife is really getting to know who I am. I'm getting to know who I am.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, today is one of them days where I'm like, I'm learning who I am today.
Right.
Like, y'all learning who I am as I'm learning who I am. So it's kind of like, that plays a big part in marriage. My wife knew me as the guy that came in after being gone for 8 months.
Right.
So you can imagine not seeing your kids and your wife for 8 months.
Now you see them every day.
And now I see them every day. So you got to remember, like,
Different kind of living,
everybody's
They have to get to know who they have to
situation
know
is
who you are.
different. You know what I'm saying?
As opposed
So
to-
they knew me as like, hey, I got to come in and I got to take my kids to Disney World. I got to take them to Six Flags, and then I'm back out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So you go from that
As some
to now,
day for day.
clean your room, do your chores. I'm the discipline daddy now. The
You're not so
military
fun
taught me,
anymore.
like, I have a system.
Right?
You have a military system.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like,
5 o'clock in the morning.
so now we clashing. Like, that lackadaisy that y'all done been. So now we at that point in my life. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's situation might be different. You got to remember that.
Mine's is
You know what I'm saying?
Mine, and I'm married just like him, but we different because we ain't never had no airspace. I done been with this woman.
Day for days.
From day one. I mean, I haven't had that time where I want to say from 2025, like 2011, whatever, 2012. We ain't been apart.
Right.
At all. It's been nonstop.
Yeah.
Whether she ready to knock me out or whether I'm ready to knock her out, and then somewhere kids came in, so it's like.
It was from the making up from wanting to knock each other out.
Yeah.
I know what kids are from.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
talk about that, I got you on that one.
And I done seen her, I mean, just like she's seen me within time, the growth of basically the decisions that were made and the way things have played out. And then as he, just him being as married as long as he's been, he understands too, there's some things you just don't entertain. They're going to say things sometimes that you're like, That's not for me to comment on. That's for me maybe to listen. Maybe she trying to say something, and I'm gonna listen tonight. That's what I'm gonna do. I was one of those people that just in the beginning, and I was just giving her what I thought she wanted, which was a lot of information.
Oh, you too?
Keep going, but I want you to add this
Keep your mic up. Get your mic up, Joe. Get your mic up, Joe.
Since you're on this topic, keep going, but add this fact. If you got two bullheaded couples that just don't want to back down from each other, like we both got to be right.
Yep.
Now what?
That's what I have. But the thing about it is you got to pick your battles and you got to pick them wisely. And I think as time goes on, some of those battles don't even need to be fought. It's already, sometimes they just want to vent. Sometimes you want to vent. And they not going to entertain certain things we say too. That's just, they're going to look at it like, oh, this nigga just talking tonight. And that's just what it is. And
Facts.
it's cool because you can take that and tomorrow it's done. It's over with. I remember early on, and I would probably be the worst one. I would have a tantrum about certain things and carry it over, like, and it's crazy. She would be done with it, but I'd be like, you know what? And then she may come around, and I'm like, you talking all that last night. I don't want it. And then with my silly self, when I did that push away, she gonna get me 3 times harder because it's gonna play in her ear that, oh, this fool just rejected me. Now, I'm wanting to get it in with her. Oh, remember Tuesday night?
You want a boxer or you want to fuck her?
No, I'm trying to put it down. But Tuesday night happened, and when Tuesday night happened, it was like, oh man. Now you want my attention? I was trying to give you that attention Tuesday night, but you pushed me away.
Is that a question? Because y'all should ask that question. What's the average times a married couple in a single?
Here's the thing. If you have questions and
What is acceptable?
yes, ask that to the audience.
What is acceptable though? Like as a married man,
Y'all get on the side, and we're gonna keep this thing.
because if I was 24 and single with an old soul, I'm trying to, like back then I remember before I got married, I was trying to get it every night. Like every night was about let's go to the club. We go to work, we go to party. We play hard, we play hard. We work hard, we play hard. But now that I'm married, it's kind of like, okay, what is acceptable for both of us for intimacy throughout the week? 2, 3 every day? What is acceptable?
Okay. So the thing about it is I feel about acceptable is body language. Body language says